Creative Choices.
Welcome to the Creative Choices podcast. I'm Kate Brockhurst, and in this edition, I talk to innovative music talent MC Bashy. Bashy's debut album, Catch Me If You Can, is already receiving critical acclaim and has caught the eye of music supremo Damon Albarn.
Yo, look, no, we ain't hooligans, just young and talented Nubians with potential and promise. Innovative young masterminds like Sean Wallace. Yeah, fam. Just me. I'm on the girl. Knock, knock. Who's there? Bashy, big beard, no trim, big hair. Wastemen, sit there.
You're online with Creative Choices.
You're a socially conscious lyricist. Some say the voice for the youth generation. How did you get started as an MC?
Simple, like, I don't know, not really like a deep story. Just like in the school playground, people used to just like stand in a circle and battle before like lesson. Plus my older cousin was a MC at the time as well. So like anything he wanted to do, I just wanted to do and do it better. So that's kind of how I started, and then I just developed it and found that I had a little knack for it and just carried on. Your
debut album, that's about to drop, Catch Me If You Can. Mm-hmm. How long did it take to write that, and what were your influences?
I'm 24, so I like to say it took 24 years to make, because my first one. But like, actually about a year and a half, and just chopping and changing and taking tracks off that I thought were not as strong as the others, making a lot of mistakes. And it's the different process that you have to go through, different ones, that feelings that you've never experienced before. And I just went deep on this album and spoke about myself a lot. So in the last maybe 3 years, I've gone through quite a bit of stuff. So yeah.
What process is involved in writing an album?
I think for me, my process is just being like as real as possible and just trying to show the audience about your life and the listener, like what you've been feeling and things you've been doing, and try and make it as musical as possible so that people who really love music can appreciate it instead of being like constricted to like one genre.
It's not just the album, you've turned your hand to other things. You were a musical supervisor for the movie Adulthood. Would you say though that being a lyricist is first and foremost your craft?
Music and acting for me go hand in hand, so they're like the same level. I'm doing my second film now actually, it's called Freestyle. I'm the head music supervisor for this one. Adulthood, I was assistant. I don't know, I love just being creative with ideas and just like, you know, just working within the industry with the people that are real. So it's just good to work with people who have got like a similar mindset to you and want to take British culture that one step further.
Do you find that one creative job leads into another creative job? Is that through contacts? How do those things happen for you?
Just like that. Do you know, like, you just need to know people, and like the more people you meet, the better it is for you. And like, just to leave a good impression, if you're punctual and stuff, like people want to work with you, and if you just keep it professional and that, and then people will let you turn your hand to other things and give you opportunities. So yeah, definitely.
How did the film stuff come about?
Oh, I did a mixtape called Chapel Chats Mixtape. I put it out a while ago, but I sampled Kidulthood on it, and Noel Clark gets his hair cut in the barber shop where I was selling the CD, and then someone was like, yeah man, this guy sampled your film, and Noel was like, what do you mean he sampled my film? Let me hear that. As soon as he heard it, he liked it, so he managed to get in contact, and then he said, would I like to submit a track? I said, yeah, cool. But instead of just submitting one track, I submitted mine and then a whole load of other artists that was in the scene, and he was like, oh right, that's called music supervision, did you know that? And I was like, no. And then he was like, right, would you like to work on the film? And I was like, yeah, cool, of course I would. And he's like, we'll pay you. And then I was like, of course I would now, you get what I'm saying? And then at that time I was driving a bus as well, so I was trying to juggle like music, bus driving and the musical supervision, so it's crazy.
Do you think you need other skills to be successful as an artist in the 21st century? Just saying you've taken these different jumps.
You need to be able to adapt in the environment that we're in now, because like it's just everything's just moving so fast now. Like the internet, just, you get me, like YouTube, MySpace, Bebo, it's just like instant now. So I think definitely being able to adapt, understanding your market. If you're independent like me at the moment, it's just like about putting the right team around you and being able to spot those things and that, and just making sure your live game is tight. You got to be like, you have to make sure that when you step on that stage, people, if they don't know who you are, by the time they leave that show, they do.
Changing it toward a financial kind of angle now.
Diddy.
Your second single from the album's called Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Everyone says there's no money in music right now. Does money and making money influence your creative choices as an artist?
Sometimes, because like you gotta prioritize a lot more, especially being independent. Like whereas a major label will just willy-nilly spend money. Like, so there's pros and cons again for that. So at least it makes me see like, actually no, I don't want to spend money on cabs everywhere. Like I'd rather just drive or just jump on a train really quick. I just think it makes you more business-like. In school they don't really teach you about business and how to own your own stuff. They teach you how to be good at maths and other stuff so that you can work for other people, but they never teach you how to be like a boss of your own stuff.
Will you stay independent?
For now, independent's the best route for me, because I think right now I'm just carving my own lane. I'm not like any other artists out there. I'm just a bit different. So for now, I don't think they've got a mold for me in the major label system, so that's why I'm doing it independent.
What do you think are the benefits of staying independent?
Yeah, control. Like when you're independent, you've got control over your stuff. I tend to think people appreciate it a lot more as well. Like if they can really see that you're grafting yourself, they're more willing to help you and give you a chance and let you on. You get certain opportunities that maybe a major label artist won't get. You get to work with people very closely. You get to sit down with your teams a lot. Like I've got a wicked team around me, a good management team, and you get to learn a lot more as well as an artist, so you can understand where you want to go with it and where you're going to take it.
You do quite a lot of workshops with young people as well. Do you give them advice on the business front, or are you just going in with the kind of creative side of it?
Both. I tell the young people like both. Like when I do workshops, I tell them about the business like side of things. I tell them about the creative side of things. Music's probably one of the hardest ways to make like an actual living. If you're just starting out, you probably won't be making any money for a while. So I just let them know that. This is like, you have to really do it for the love of it first, and then the money and stuff will come after.
What's the best lesson that you've learnt while you've been developing your career, and what's been the hardest lesson?
If you just believe in it and you got a plan, then 9 times out of 10, if you make sure you've got a watertight plan and you're willing to adapt, and there might be a few little bumps along the way, then you can get to where you need to get to. When you believe in something, you can get there. The downfall of things, just like doubt or just being lazy. Like sometimes you just like, I'm rarely lazy, but there is a time when I just think, I can't be bothered to go, and then yeah, laziness is bad. Just do it. Just get up and do it. That's my new mindset. Just do it.
I think to finish up on, can you give us some advice for kind of aspiring artists out there?
Yeah. If you're an aspiring artist, but just any field, doesn't have to be music, could be acting, producing, dancing, just something creative. You need to know where you want to go, have a plan, be willing to adapt. When things happen, maybe go down that path, even though it might not be the direction that you want to go, but it might eventually take you where you need to end up. Because like, I don't know, like I didn't want to be a music supervisor, but it just happened. And if you go with the flow, sometimes you can get something really positive from it.
Our thanks to Bashy for taking time out to talk to us. You can read up on all things Bashy on his website, bashy.com. Thanks for listening.
Creative Choices, offering the tools, knowledge and networks to help you succeed in the creative and cultural sectors at www.creative-choices.co.uk.